Okay, so there we go. Day one of one. No, day one of one. Freudian slip. 10 in 10, day one. Apologies for the wait. I got back a while ago, but I had to find water. It's about my sixth. And I ran into the kids, so I had to say hello as I'm on holiday with them. Water's going down like I'm drinking air. But anyway, so that was funny. The video before I set off today. Remember, the rules of this 10 in 10 is you don't have to do 10 miles. You probably won't do 10 miles. Some of you might do. I thought 10 miles maybe. I'm quite happy doing 10 miles. But this afternoon when I left about 3:30. I knew that I didn't know how far I was going to run, because one, I didn't know where I was going, so I didn't know the terrain, I didn't know the incline, I didn't know I knew it was going to be hot. It turned out about 34 degrees, wasn't much shade, and it turned out, as in the video I just posted, there is this big fuck-off hill, because the road just, by the side of the road, just kind of turned into a gutter, so there was a hill. So, and also, as with any kind of 10 in 10 kind of what they call run streaks, you got to treat it carefully. The first day of a streak has got to be, you got to feel finishing like you could easily do more. If you finish your first day one of 10 and you're knackered, then you've done too much. Yeah, so everything was pointing to doing 10k today. And I think that's a useful message for any runners who are doing these kind of like challenges. I'm always kind of slagging off Jantastics and all these kind of things. Run every day of the month for the first month in January, because they've just got injury written all over them. Imagine you've been having Christmas, you've probably been drinking loads. Sorry, I'm dripping. Look, soaking in. And then suddenly you decide to run every day of January. You know, and you, surprise, you end up, joining the 30% to 70% of runners getting injured every year. So when I set this challenge, I was aware of that. So if you are going to join me for this 10k or 10 miles in 10 days, then make sure you're not biting off more than you can chew. I never said, if you want to, you can walk 10k. You could do 5k in the morning, 5k in the afternoon. You know what? As I was going along, I was thinking, you can do whatever you like to get this 10k done. As long as you show me some proof on your social media, and as long as you kind of put a screenshot showing that together you've done 10k. We don't need times at all. I just got to see yourself adding up that distance. Now, you might just do it because you're just challenging yourself, okay? But the fact is, if you're interested in going along to the Runchatlive International Running Conference in October in Brighton in the UK, as an incentive, what I'm doing is, for every day you complete 10k or 10 miles, whether it's split into half, as long as they add up to 10k, then I will give you a £10 voucher off the Runchatlive conference, and that can be off any ticket. So if you're a student, student tickets are well cheap. I've put them silly cheap. I think I can't remember now. I think one day in the conference is 95 quid. So if you do a streak of 10 days of 10k, you got a free day at the conference. Okay. All of this is just to make it accessible to people. If there's people, I know there's people out there who haven't got much money, and if anything, I want them to come along, because they haven't got money to spend on therapists and physios and chiropractors and osteopaths and all this. So I want you to come along to the conference and get educated and not have to waste money on unnecessary treatments. So anyway, yeah. So you know all about the challenge. 10k a day. Or if you really want to, if you're that sort of runner, you're already doing 50-60 miles a week, then maybe do 10 miles a day, whatever gives you a smart goal. Okay, and that can be a lesson for today's little chat as well. Always with running, you've got to set yourself a goal, because that's good. Okay, every run you do should really have a mission, a goal, to be specific. That goal might be, right, just chill out, don't put on your Garmin, and just relax and run conversation pace for 10 miles or something. That could be the goal, or it could be a tempo or interval or an incline or whatever it is. But the goal of this challenge is, I am running 10 somethings for 10 days in a row, so I've got to take it easy. For me, the reason I'm doing this is because I've got some great factors in play. You know, I only average about 40 miles a week, 35, 40 miles a week. But the reason I know I can do 10k a day, or even a few 10 miles a day, is because I'm on holiday. Look. Aha, for those of you who missed it. Yes, that's my bedroom. That's my garden. So everyone I do now, that's it. I've got all inclusive, much water, food, rice, chicken, fish, pasta as I can eat. Granted, I've got 2 kids here, so it's not going to be total holiday. But I can sleep. Well, I haven't got to get up for work, put it that way. I've got to get up for kids. But another reason for just doing 10k today and not 10 miles is because we got in at something like silly o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock this morning, after a long 5-hour, 4-hour flight. Kids were playing up. We were up at like 8:30, so it's only 5 hours sleep. So again, I had to think, what is my body ready for in order to do today? I've got people looking at me. Yeah, so hopefully some important messages there for when you are planning to go out and run. I was going to call this runners need to be flexible, because you know I hate that kind of saying, but runners do need to be flexible. Flexibility is probably the most important thing to avoid injury. Someone can cut this and play it back to me, but what I'm talking about is flexibility in terms of what you do in your sessions. Flexibility to maybe make a session slightly easier or slightly more difficult, or maybe not even do it depending on circumstances. Doesn't mean you can change it whenever you want to, just for the hell of it, but if circumstances change, like you've had a bad night's sleep, or you haven't eaten very well, you've had a hard day at work, had an argument with your other half, then maybe you need to tone your run down. If you've had a really good sleep, eaten really well, then maybe you can afford to turn your run up a little bit. Yeah, so I'm rambling, but this is what I'm going to do every day. These are just things I was thinking about during my first 10 today, which turned out to be a 10k. They may all be 10k, because it depends. The plan is to again, to try and get the conditions in my favour. I'm going to get up at 6:30 in the morning when it's colder, coldish, like about 20 degrees, 19 degrees, and do my 10 then. So we might get a few 10 miles in, but again, I will be flexible, and that's the message for today. Yeah, be flexible, versatile. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Spread the word. If you do know people, read about the conference. All the information's at rcl2019.eventbrite.com. 2-day conference with all the great names. It's taken me a few years to put together, but we've got Simon Bartold, we've got JF Asculia, we have got I'm doing it in order of distance. We've got Chris Johnson from Seattle, we've got Izzy Moore from Cardiff, we've got Mike James from Wales, Derek Griffin from Ireland, we've got Paul Coker from Cornwall, Paul Westwood from Midlands, we've got Ian Griffiths from London. Have I missed anyone out? I think that's a 10 of 10. Oh, Jack Chu from Manchester, that should have been further up. So yeah, 10 fantastic speakers who, if you're aware of, then you should be thinking, geez, I want to see all these guys, I want to hang out with these guys. If you're not aware of them, then and if you work with runners, then you should be, sorry, but you should be familiar with them. It's going to be a great opportunity. 30th, 31st, that's Halloween, 31st of October in Brighton, and this streak is a chance for you to get £100 off that fee, and that £100, that can, let's be generous, that can work in conjunction with any other code you may have. Yeah, so if you are, there's plenty of codes out there, because I just want to make this as inclusive as possible. So if you're a member of Sports Injury Fix, then they've got a voucher. If you're a member of Sports Therapy Association, they've got a voucher. If you know the speakers, they've all got vouchers. If you're a student, you've got a voucher. If there's a group, you've got vouchers. On top of all those discounts, if you fancy giving yourself a 10-day challenge of 10k a day and you're able to do it, please don't get injured, then you could knock, I'll give you £100 more off. You could be going for free. Think about it, tell your friends. And the other good thing is you could get someone else to do it for you. So if you really want to go along this conference and you know some fast runner who fancies a challenge, just say, oh mate, do us a favour, stick 10k a day down on your Strava for me, or photocopy, Jesus, screenshot your Garmin for me, and and then post them on your social media, hashtag Runchatlive, and copy us in Runchatlive. Then yeah, you can get me 100 quid off this voucher. Right, there we go. That's about it. I'll be back hopefully probably slightly earlier tomorrow. Probably, I don't know what time it is in Rose compared to the UK. But yeah, I'll give you some thoughts as well, try and share some information. Probably another 10k tomorrow, earlier time. If you have got any questions, then leave them in the comments. Anything about the conference you want to know, anything you want me to talk about. This is lovely. Once I finish here, it's back to kids. Actually, once I finish here, it's back to the pool for a nice swim and a dip. There you go. That's it. I'm going back here. Da, 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 da. Leave your comments, and I'll be looking out for your screenshots of your 10k or 10 miles, whatever you choose to do. You haven't necessarily got to start today. I'll be lenient. You might decide to start tomorrow or the next day, but I need to see 10. I need to see 10 10s in a row somewhere. Okay? Right, guys. Take care, and yeah, be nice to each other. Bye. You're listening to Runchatlive podcast, putting the evidence back into running injury and performance.